Cancer, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early to mid December 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Cancer Collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the Cancerians in early to mid-December? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Cancer early to mid-December. We're closing out 2025. What's the vibe here for my good friends? There we go. Nice and quick. Cool. So it's a matter of perspective. That's a big thing I always see with this card. And obviously, we have the two people. They're looking through a mask, which can imply some sort of hidden type of energy. But to me, this card is always perspective, perspective, perspective. And that can apply to a lot of different situations in a lot of different ways. Now, before we fully dive in on that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the December subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this. So if you look here at the image, we see these two individuals. They kind of look like twins. So it always reminds me of Gemini. If you're connected to Gemini, maybe you're on that cusp. It could be showing through here. But we see them, they're both looking through the same mask. Now, as I already mentioned, masks, when we look at symbolism, it does speak about hidden things, hidden facets. But to me, it's all about how things are viewed through your eyes. Now, a lot of times, especially if we're going through some choppy waters, our perspective is everything. It really is. That's my personal experience in life, that we could look through things in different lenses. We could look through things in a positive lens, silver lining, or we could look through it like, hey, the sky is falling, worst thing ever. So I'm not attacking or judging anybody about that, but there could be various situations in this time where just a tweak of your perspective and how you view it could really change the game for you. Now, aside from that, I also say it's a pretty good thing to do going through any situation to try to pull yourself out of it, at least within your mind, and try to say, like, all right, if someone was asking me for advice, how would I advise them? Or if I wasn't going through this and it was somebody else, how would I view it? That's always a very intriguing way to look at situations, either whether good, bad, or indifferent, where it's like, all right, well, if this was happening to someone else, what would I be thinking? So we're just going to leave that be. There's just something here about someone needing to tweak their perspective. And this can also be a card of empathy, either wanting someone to see something from your side or maybe you seeing something from someone else's side. But we're going to let them chill right there. They could keep looking through the mask. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Cancer. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So yeah, there were some choppy waters in the reading. I know there were some cards that weren't the most pleasant, but the overall theme of the reading was a big return. That's what the name was. And to me, it felt more like, all right, here we go again. There was like something cyclical, something popping back up. So whether it was a situation, a person, a thought process, it's like there's something very cyclical about it. So we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you. Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Cancer in early to mid-December. Thank you. Okay, Page of Wands, big communicator card. Like pages, it's usually a pretty good way to start, especially with the Page of Wands, because it's an energy that's actually doing something. So we're going to get him tucked in over there. Let's get a couple more. What do we got for Cancer? Totally different. Totally different. Let's get one more out here, because the Page of Wands and the Four of Pentacles are total opposites. Let's see what else we got. What do we got here for my friends? Cancer Collective. Thank you. Okay. All right. Lots of fire. Lots of fire. And that could be a very good thing for some of you. For others, we're just going to have to take it slow and see how it goes. But we do have a lot of this fiery, burning type of energy, and I'm seeing a lot of other people in your energy too for some reason. Been seeing that in sprinkles through other signs as well. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, the elements, it's an intriguing mix because I always say, and it's important to look at elements, it tells us how energy is flowing, that the internal elements are the cups and the swords. That speaks about the inner world. Whereas the outer elements are the fire and the earth, the actions that people are taking, and the board, the chessboard that we're all playing on. But yeah, with a lot of fire in the mix with the Page of Wands and the Queen of Wands here, if they're not other people you're connected to, fire is the realm of action. So whether it's the actions you're taking, the actions or other people are taking, actions that you're wanting to be tooken, if that's even the proper way to say it. It's fiery, passionate. It represents drive. It's our internal engine. So you can get real fired up and motivated. It's good for moving things forward. The downside to fire is that it could be a little volatile, it could be a little explosive, a little unpredictable. So that's something we're going to want to keep a very close eye on. But then here in the center, we have the earth, which is very complementary to the Cancer collective. Earth represents feelings of security, safety. It represents finance, money, abundance, the material world, home, living, family, all that good stuff. But they're all outer. It's like exterior stuff. It's not internal, which is very rare for a water sign reading that I get this type of lineup. But let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we're starting with the Page of Wands. So again, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. If you're not connected to any of those, that's totally fine. Pages represent new, fresh type of energy. They could represent students, so a lot of learning, a lot of informational intake, but they're also huge when it comes to communication. So whether it's something you're wanting to say, something someone else is wanting to say, the Page of Wands is really good for that. It's an energy that comes in with a lot of energy. That's the one thing I love. But the downside to the Page of Wands, sometimes it can overdo it. Sometimes this energy could try a little too hard and burn itself out. So if your energy's been a little low lately or you've been feeling a little tired, it's okay to slow something down and take your time. That's huge when we see the Page of Wands, because this energy could sometimes scatter itself as well, where there's like so much it wants to do, so much it wants to accomplish that it doesn't accomplish anything because it's not focused on one thing at a time. I know that's very specific. So we're going to keep a close eye. Again, it could just be a conversation. Now we're saying it could just be a talk. For a lot of you, it's great to take in information and learn in this time. Now, moving to the middle, as I mentioned when the card popped out, it's the complete and total opposite. Whereas the page is coming in with a lot of energy, a lot of gusto, and it's moving and rocking and rolling. We got the Four of Pentacles. Now, this is a neutral card. I know some readers don't really like it too much for good reason, but to me, I look at it as a straight up neutral. Now, when it comes to finance, it's actually pretty good. It represents saving, it represents stacking money, investments, finance. It's great for anything monetary. So, if you're having any issues in that realm, the Four of Pentacles could actually be really helpful for you moving towards the short term future. But when we get to the internal aspects or the relationship aspects, that's where this card gets a little bit clunky. It can represent holding on to something, not being able to let something go. In its roughest sense, this could sometimes represent like anger and grudginess, where it's like, oh, I just can't work through this. So watch out for any feelings like that in this time with the Four of Pentacles. Worst case scenario, as well as sometimes it could represent jealousy, possessiveness, obsessiveness. So again, no judgment. I'm just telling you what all the cards mean: good, bad, and indifferent. So we'll look and see what's up with the Four of Pentacles. Pardon me. But as you can see, it's like we have the page going in towards this energy, but this feels very clamped down. This energy is coming in really hot and heavy. This one is super clamped down and holding back or holding off. Now we get to the back end. We have the beautiful, lovely Queen of Wands. Really like her. Now, again, if it's not a fire sign, not gender specific, she is a huge card of self confidence, self love, self care. That's big. All queens represent the internal aspect of the suit. So when I see the Queen of Wands, I think of beauty. It's sexy, it's confident, it's feeling better. So for a lot of cancers, now could be a time where maybe you start feeling better about something, or maybe you start to feel like you're getting your groove back. She's always a good signal for that. So I like the Queen of Wands. She could also represent aesthetics. So if you're changing something about your look or how you present yourself to the world, she shows up for that as well. The downside to the Queen of Wands, she could be very hard on herself. This is an energy where I don't want to say it's self-deprecating, but it's an energy that's not feeling too good about themselves, and they kind of beat themselves up. So watch out for any behaviors like that. Be kind to yourself. Be loving towards yourself as well. That's why I say she's a huge part of self-love and self-care. But the fact that there's so much fire, there's so much action, it could be a little explosive, and we're just going to have to see how all this energy plays out. So we're going to let her chill right there. I want to dive deeper on all the Cancer. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. What do we got for Cancer? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Page of Wands. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Cancer, could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Paige, what are you doing here? What are you doing here, Paige? Oh, quick. Huh. All right. It's one of two things. One of them could be good. The other one, I want to be very cautious about it. So we have the Seven of Swords in the upright underneath this Page of Wands. The better, more optimistic message, and I'll explain why. Like the Seven of Swords, it could be seen as a dicey card. In its most positive form, it just represents something that's not on our map. It's not on our radar. We don't see it. We're completely in the dark about it. So with the Page of Wands, Seven of Swords, could this be an unexpected talk, message, or surprising talk or message that we're not expecting? Absolutely. Where whether you're talking about something you weren't expecting to talk about or talking to someone you weren't expecting to speak to, that's in the energy for a lot of Cancerians in this time. However, the Seven of Swords is not the most trustworthy energy. So, for a small portion of you, when I see the Page of Wands with the Seven of Swords, I don't want to say this is a liar, but the energy just feels very secretive. It's like holding back, it's omitting information. Like, you ever hear of lies by omission? Like, Page of Wands with this, it seems like it's giving a lot of information, but there's information that's being held back. So, again, it depends on your situation. I would say just when it comes to people, when it comes to individuals, don't look at what they say, look at how they act. Actions speak louder than words. I know that's cliche, but there is this energy that you might want to keep a close eye on. I don't want to say beware of this person just yet. I want to see what else shows up. But the Page of Wands with the Seven of Swords, either it's a talk that you weren't expecting to have, or a message, or it's something you just need to be very cautious about what this person is saying, because their actions and their words don't quite line up. And Cancers are very intuitive. You're very good at catching on to energies like this. There's information being omitted. There's secrecy. Let's keep going. I'm not gonna dig into that too much. Let's see what's up with the Four of Pentacles. Wasn't expecting that to show up, which I guess it would make sense, especially with the Four of Pentacles, something being held back. Let's see why the Four of Pentacles is in the mix, though. It's like very hush hush. Very hush hush. So why is the Four of Pentacles here? Okay. Very hush hush. Okay, Two of Swords, another one of my mystery cards. Yeah, watch out for secrecy in this time. Really. Whether this is like a person or like the energy to me, it's confusing because there's a lot of questions, there's a lot of unknowns, and the full story isn't out there yet. Okay, the Two of Swords, classically, it could represent confusion, indecision, not being able to go left or right. So for a small portion of you, when I see the Four of Pentacles with the Two of Swords, it's like, oh, all right, well, what do I do now? Like, I don't know which way to go. It's kind of an energy that seems to be in limbo. So watch out for any situations that you feel are just up in the air for whatever reason. But with the holding back and the Seven of Swords and now the Two of Swords, it's screaming secrecy, where like somebody could be telling you part of the story, but it's not the full story. That's just how it feels to me. Where someone is giving a piece of the story, but not the full thing. Like there's withheld information here. So if this is a person, now I could pretty confidently say, just watch what people say in this time. Watch what they say, watch what they do. There might be someone that you need to beware of or keep a close eye on, because the words and the actions aren't fully matching here. So we're going to keep going. Let's see what the Queen of Wands has. I mean, it doesn't tank the whole reading. To me, there's just so much withheld information. Like there's a lot being withheld. Like someone's keeping very tight-lipped. So let's see what the Queen of Wands has. Then we'll do our recap before we get into the shadow. So why is the Queen in the mix? Please. Thank you. All right, this energy is much more open. on the back end. So this energy on the back end is finally much more agreeable, much more open underneath the Queen of Wands. I got the Two of Cups in the upright. That's the type of energy we want to see. Notice we got repeating two showing up here. We got two other individuals. I'm getting a lot of two numerology coursing through. Um, the Two of Cups bond, soul ties, soul connections. Doesn't mean you're definitely connected with a fire sign. Doesn't have to mean that. But this is the open energy we're looking for, the exchange, the equality, the back and forth. So could this represent somebody potentially turning over a new leaf? Possibly. Where it's like, yeah, there was a lot of unknowns, a lot of questions. Then eventually the energy comes forward in a much more honest way. Um, Remember, the Queen of Wands represents confidence. It's very outgoing. Sometimes when people withhold information, it's because they're not feeling too confident about the reaction of other people. This energy here on the back end is like, you know what? I don't care about the reaction. I'm going to say it. So there is this information here about, or there is this message about information coming to the surface. So don't be surprised if there's various things, stories from the present or past, where it's like, oh, now I'm getting more to the story. Now I'm getting more information than I had before, which could change the perspective. Remember, we saw the perspective very on as well, very early on with the very first card. So there's the energy of withholding facts, secrecy, but it does come out in the end. That's what I'm seeing here. So just keep that in mind, especially with your go, with whatever it is you're dealing with. And I never cast judgment at all, but it's like what is held back will eventually come forth. That's just how it's presenting. So let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow card. So definitely a different vibe than what I was expecting. That's for sure. But if you kindly look in the box, position number one, we start off with the Page of Wands and the Seven of Swords in the upright. So the most optimistic, sure, could this be an unexpected, surprising talk or message? Absolutely, it can be. We don't always have to go worst case scenario. But to me, it just feels like a lot of omission and holding back and a lot of secrecy and a lot of unknowns. Somebody's in that energy. Same thing here in the center. I have the Four of Pentacles with the Two of Swords in the upright, like a tight-lipped, secretive type of vibe here where it's like, nope, I'm never going to speak about this. I'm never giving this information. That's for me alone. I'm going to live with this one. So watch out for that type of stuff. There's like a lot of facts that are unknown and information being held back. Moving to the back end, we do have the Queen of Wands with the Two of Cups. That's better. That's more like it. It's much more free, open, and sharing. So this tells me all this tight-lipped energy will eventually disintegrate and the facts will come to the surface. So just watch out for the secrecy in this time. Please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. What do we got for Cancer, please? Thank you. Okay. Queen of Swords, honest, straightforward, truthful, to the point, big air sign vibes. Now, the Queen of Swords, the thing I like about her, even though this is the shadow card, she's just what you see is what you get. There is no fluff with her. So, like all this energy here in the front end, the Queen of Swords disintegrates that. Like she sees through things, so like very cut and dry. And I'm not saying this is another person. This could just be the vibe you're in, where it's like you see through illusion very well in this time. You probably always do, but extra in this time. But what's the shadow side of the Queen of Swords if you're not connected to an air sign? Sometimes she could be a little cold. Sometimes she could be a little detached. Sometimes she could be uncaring and mean. So I'm not saying that's how you're acting, but watch out for any individuals that are acting that way, because this could be a little warning sign from spirit. It's like, all right, listen, if that person's being mean, if they're being nasty, if they're being cold and detached, maybe you should just take a little step back. Like that's just how it feels to me, because that's her big shadow side. She could be very mean. So we're going to put her down right there, Cancer. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the December subscriber surprise. If you would like further clarification on your situation, you can book a personal reading with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My December schedule is live right now, and the spots go quick, so go check it out, see what's available if you want to have a chat with me. But for the December subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of my favorite decks for all skill levels the Gilded Tarot Royale. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's two simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the tarot cards, which one do you resonate with most? When you see it in a reading, it's like, yeah, that's me. Put your answer in the comments. You'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in the community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.